It is through suffering that I start to understand what suffering is about. Dear friends, welcome to Fully Alive with Irene. It's quite funny, isn't it? It's through the experience of something that we start to understand, start to comprehend what that thing is about. And I remember what suffering meant to me was that time that was given an unexpected cross in the form of chronic illness with Myasthenia Gravis. It was difficult, I must say it was difficult. But it's a process, and I also know that God is teaching me something. I also was very convinced that it's a season of grace for me. In the beginning, I was learning something, definitely. When I was first diagnosed, I was learning something. It's just that I didn't learn that much as the time progressed. In the beginning, yes, it was hard. I have droopy eyelids, I have weak muscles and weakness. I get tired very easily. There was the time of adjustment. It was difficult, but I was somewhat still in control at the time. I can still drive. I can still do the groceries. I can still run the errands for the family. I can still breastfeed, to a limited extent. I can still take care of the baby. So I was still in control. Yeah, I learned something when I'm still in control. But when the flare started happening in the end of 2022, that's when I started learning something very precious. What the cross meant to me, the value, the gift of that cross for me. When I had the flare, I lost control. I was unable to drive because now the symptoms revolve into double vision. So it's really hard to drive at that time. And because of the double vision and the things that was very light in my head, I kept feeling dizzy. I was hypersensitive, especially towards hydrocarbons. Yeah, things like sanitizer, chemicals. Oh boy, oh my goodness. I react to it like very, very quickly. So I lost the ability. I lost control in my hand. But I found control in Christ's hand. I found this is actually beautiful. Yeah, the cross is heavy. I don't deny that. But when I became present to it, it is gifting me something that I can't buy with money. And I knew deep in my heart, I know God is healing me and God is teaching me something. It's something that I sort of knew. And I started getting a lot of things like, wow, you talk about redemptive suffering, our church fathers taught about that. And I used to be like, oh, suffering again. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's a hot topic that I would rather not talk about, but now I'm in it, And that was the time when Jesus is in control and I was present to my cross. I start understanding it. I start getting a glimpse of God's love through suffering. It's like, God, now I get you. Now I know what it felt like. And when I used to tell people that, oh, no, you can do this thing and certain things and everything, not being that understanding now, when I'm at that situation, I'm like, now I get what you were trying to tell me, Lord. And He expanded my empathy and expanded my heart. It is a beautiful journey. It is a choice that I make. It's quite interesting that some of my friends commented when they hear my story, they say, what a strong woman you are. And I'm like, what an irony that you have just talked about. Because, myasthenia gravis involves weakness in the muscle, weakness in the body. but I understand what they're talking about. And the other lesson that was big for me was comprehending that things doesn't happen overnight. I used to be quite impatient. I want to get to the destination as quick as possible, that kind of thing. But now I understand that there are things that takes a journey. And there is a reason. It's probably for my salvation that God did not heal me instantaneously. He really wants me to get and understand and comprehend His love for me to the best of my ability, of course. And this is so beautiful. It started happening when I take that rest in the Lord, to be present in His suffering, and to say that I know God is most present here, and I can unite my suffering with the Lord. And I stopped doing this thing. In the past, I used to say, oh God, my suffering is just so little. Yeah, but yours is so great. But now I'm like, just focus on like, this is what I can give. So I give to you, Lord. Yeah, I want your blessing. I want to learn. I want to be your disciple. I want to be your follower. So dear friends, are you given an unexpected cross? It could be like sickness, loss of job, yeah, whatever is it. Or even, like grieving the death of the loved ones. That is also quite painful. Are you given something like that? Would you be willing to be present and allow the loving God to love you in your suffering?